What's up? What's happening? You already know who it is and what it is. It's your boy Q Walker, aka Nephew Q, host of Conversations with Q, a show about life, love, society, culture, entertainment, sports, and everything in between. But before we get into today's story, I need everybody to like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel, as well as subscribe to the podcast on all major podcast streaming platforms. Now, let's get into today's installment of Conversations with Q. I seen this story online. I'm going to give it to you guys, give you my thoughts on it, and then you also let me know in the comment section what you guys think about the story and what this person should have done. But anyways, here's the title. The title is I Had an Affair and My Children Won't Forgive Me. All right, so let's get into it. So this guy, he says, I had an affair, a choice I recognized was a hurtful one, but was born out of a really difficult time in my soon-to-be formal marriage. My question is how to get back on track with my kids who are angry and refuse to speak to me. 6 months into the divorce process, they're old enough to have input into their own custody decisions, and it seems like I will have to pay while never really getting to see them. My wife wasn't careful and had an oops pregnancy. We already have a teenage son and daughter. The pregnancy was complicated and she didn't do much around the house, leaving a lot of extra work in my hands, and we stopped having sex. I was stressed, underappreciated, exhausted, and caved when my younger co-worker approached me. The affair became a lifeline when my wife lost our son at birth. And then didn't recover well, including 2 weeks in the hospital where I was forced to manage the household and our kids alone while also grieving my lost son. I was stressed, grieving, and it led to taking bigger risks until I took a much too big risk and my kids walked in on my girlfriend and me. They panicked and called my wife, and she went straight for a lawyer, as she should. The kids are in counseling and I show up to see them every weekend, but they still won't talk to me. I suspect my wife is bad mouthing me to them, but can't prove it. I mean, can you blame her? How do I get things back to normal? Everyone makes mistakes and they should be old enough to know that fidelity and marriage are complicated, but they are unwilling to listen. All right. So, my guy, there's a couple of things here, man. First and foremost, if you felt like you were in a bad marriage. Okay, so it's a couple of things here, and some of it I'm going to relate to myself because a lot of this could have been easily avoided. Everything could have been avoided, minus the losing of a child, which first and foremost, my condolences to everybody involved with that, the mother, the father, the siblings, and everyone else. That's a tough loss to lose a child, regardless. But okay, so during the pregnancy process of your wife, you said you felt unappreciated, you was exhausted and stressed. My guy, I don't know if you know this, but women are that plus 10 times more in a pregnancy. So if you were feeling that, only imagine how your wife was feeling during this pregnancy. It seems to me, based on what you're saying here, that it seems like that she was probably on bed rest, couldn't really work. That's why you had to do a lot of the household chores and things of that nature. But because you said the pregnancy was complicated and she didn't do much around the house, leaving a lot of extra work in your hands, and you stopped having sex. My guy, when a woman is pregnant, depending on how far along she is, she's gonna have body issues and think that, she's unattractive. And you got to think, my guy, she's pregnant, so her hormones is all over the place. So of course, sex is probably the last or one of the last things on her mind, especially if she's having a complicated pregnancy. And then I didn't like the fact that you're married, but you said you felt like you was forced to manage the household and your kids alone while grieving your lost son. My guy, you weren't forced to do anything. That's what a husband does. A husband sees his wife is grieving over the loss of the child. Not saying that you can't grieve as much as she is, but if you see that she's not of a good condition to run the household, it's upon you as the husband to step up. That's your duty, and take over the household responsibilities and make sure the house is ran well, because your wife is not in the best mental capacity to do so. Now, I understand that that's a lot being put on your plate, my guy, but you got to understand why that's being put on your plate. For one, y'all just lost a child, so your wife is grieving over the loss of the child, and I know you feel like she should be doing some of the work too, but think about it like this, my guy. That child is coming from her womb, not yours. So her connection with that child is a lot deeper than yours. So it's gonna hurt her a lot worse. Don't get me wrong, losing a child is still bad, but it's gonna affect her a lot worse than it does you, because she was actually connected to this child that she lost. Okay, so the fact you sound like the B word right now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I had to clean up and I had to take care of the household chores because my wife and I'm grieving too. Okay, yeah, but that's like this is one of the times where man up, my guy. You know what I'm saying? And I understand you doing all of this has made you sour on your sour on your marriage. And you felt like, okay, this is the time to get out. But my guy, it's bigger than you right now. I understand that you were unhappy. I understand that you were stressed, exhausted, and you was just looking for some type of comfort, some type of love, some type of affection, and you found it in a coworker. And I'm gonna get to all of that in a second. But in situations and times like this, you've got to hold that in, my guy. I'm sorry. And I know guys are watching right now. Oh, he's a simp. Bruh, she's dealing with the loss of a child right now. The last thing she wants to hear is that her husband is unhappy too. So I'm sorry, my dude. You're going to have to eat that sadness, that stress, that exhaustion. You're going to have to eat that for a while until you can comfortably feel like you can have that conversation with her and communicate how you feel about the marriage. That's because, and this is on me too. I'm about to give you some of me. The main issue with men in infidelity is that we don't communicate, and I'm talking about men, including myself. We don't communicate to our significant other that we are unhappy. Now, some men do. Now, I'll tell you right now, if you could talk to some of my exes, they will tell you I'm about top 10 worst communicator ever. And I know that about myself. But men have to get better at voicing their displeasure about the marriage or relationship, so that it doesn't come to an infidelity route. It comes to I'm explaining to her how unhappy I am. We can't fix this, and so we just need to go our separate ways, because that's what people say, right? If you're gonna cheat, you might as well just break up. So if you felt like it was going to be teetering on infidelity and you couldn't express that to your wife, talk to a therapist, man. You know, reach out and see if you can talk to a therapist about everything that's going on. And maybe that therapist could have saved you from the infidelity that you had or that you did on your wife. So you had a couple of different options. You just chose the easier route. And I trust me, I understand co-workers right there giving you everything that you're not getting at home. So you're going to naturally gravitate towards the co-worker. I'm not saying that it's right, but I get it. I'm not saying it's right because it's not. But at the same time, you owe it to your marriage to seek therapy, couples counseling, or whatever the case may be. So therefore, you can avoid doing that until the situation with your marriage is handled, you know, and maybe you just didn't think about going that route because you was just too caught up in the new coworker chick throwing that thing at you. All right. Now let's talk about the infidelity part, right? And your kids not wanting to speak to you. First and foremost, my dude, it seems to me that you have a job. Your coworker obviously has a job. Why in the hell are you having sex with this woman in a place where obviously your kids have access to? Meaning whether it's your own home or wherever this place was. And if you had sex in your home, in you and your wife's bed, boy, Lord, you lucky all you get through is a divorce, because situations like that, men get shot over stuff like that. Men get their cars keyed up over stuff like that. They tires slashed over that. You know what I'm saying? The mother of my child tells me all the time, how are you still alive? But anyway, that's another story for another day. But you lucky you just got off with a divorce, because having your kids walk in on you, having sex with another woman that's not their mom, boy, you get off lucky with a divorce. But you mean to tell me y'all couldn't, scrounge out pennies to, if you're going to go this route? I'm not saying this right. Again, I don't condone none of this, but I'm saying if you're going to go that route, you couldn't scrounge up a couple of pennies and get a hotel room for a couple of hours. You couldn't find an empty vacant parking lot and, at nighttime go to the parking lot and y'all do y'all thing in the parking lot. You couldn't find a empty back road and, y'all go down my dude, at a place where your kids have access and they can see you and you got caught. Of course it's going to traumatize them. Now, back to the kids not speaking, because my dude, you acting like a dude right now. But anyways, back to the kids not speaking to you part, right? Your kids feel like you are the reason why the marriage is no longer. They feel like you're the reason why the home is now broken up and not a happy home. So they resent you so much for that. They resent you even more because they not only know about you cheating, they walked in on you cheating on their mother. And not only that, they're walking in on you cheating on their mother who just lost a baby. So they lost a baby brother. She lost a son and you did too. But the way you handle it is by doing is cheating and having an affair with I get it. It's the easy route to go. But from the standpoint of your kids, they're looking at it from, Dad, you the one who messed this up, and you cheat on mom and you hurt her. And you did this while she was grieving the loss of a child. How could you, Dad? So you got to understand how your kids feel. And I don't know if you do. I mean, you said you guys go to counseling and all of that, but I don't think you truly understand how your kids feel because you're asking, what can you do to fix this? First and foremost, never give up. You keep trying to make that relationship right with your kids because your kids are a part of your life for the rest of your life. So no matter what you do, no matter who you're with from here on out, your kids will always be your kids. So you make sure you try every single damn day to get your kids to speak to you. Now it's going to take a whole hell of a lot of time, maybe a whole hell of a lot of counseling, but do not give up on speaking to your kids. And when you do speak to your kids, don't talk to them about this situation unless they're ready to talk to you about this situation. Other than that, your job is just to be a dad to them. Try to restore that trust in them of just being a father to your kids. And then if they want to cross that bridge, then y'all cross that bridge. But I'll give you a story about myself. So, to make it relatable, my oldest daughter is 13. And just this past summer, we had a conversation about a lot of different things because, obviously she's growing up, puberty, maturity, and all of that good stuff. And I told my daughter, hey, I don't even remember how this even came up or why we was even talking about it. Maybe we was conversing about her mom and I don't know. But anyways, I looked my daughter in the face and I said, I don't know how you feel, but I don't ever want you to blame your mom as the reason why me and your mom are no longer together. Like me and her mom, we separated long time ago. I mean, she was still, she's still a kid, but I mean, she was like, 3, 4, something like that. But anyways, I told her, I don't ever want you to blame yourself or blame your mom as to why we aren't together. I said, the reason why me and your mom aren't together, I said, it's Dad's fault. I said, Dad wasn't the best of boyfriends to your mom. And so your mom had to leave me or your mom had to break up with me. I said, but I don't know if you feel like, you want to blame somebody for the relationship not working out with me and your mom. I said, but don't you ever, not one day, blame your mom for us not being together because it's Dad's fault. Dad is the one who ruined that relationship, not your mom. So, and I didn't tell her the extent of it, but my daughter's 13. She's no dummy. She knows, okay, yeah, Dad saying he wasn't the best of boyfriends means he was probably messing with other girls. I had another girl or whatever. She didn't ask no questions, but I just wanted to reiterate to her that I'm holding myself accountable for the reason why me and your mom not together. And I don't ever want to make you feel like maybe is it mom's fault? No, it never was mom's fault. So, with that being said, my dude, is you have to reiterate, regurgitate, whatever other word you want to use in the English dictionary that are the thesaurus to quantify the word of to keep doing it over and over and over. You do that shit every single day. I don't care if it's getting on your kids' nerves because you know what? The day you stop doing that and stop trying to communicate and stop trying to reach out will be the day they are ready to talk to you, and then you don't reach out, and then they think you don't even care anymore. So my guy, keep talking to your kids, keep trying. That's my advice to you. I know it's hard, I know it's tough. I'm pretty sure you love your kids to death, but you got to understand where their mind is at, where they're coming from, and how they feel about what you just did to their mom. Because let's all be honest, and this ain't no slight or nothing like that. This is just, it is what it is. Kids love their moms more than dads. You know what I'm saying? Like it just is what it is. Kids are just naturally just love their moms more than dads, and that's okay as long as they love dad. But that's okay that they love their kids are supposed to love their moms that much and much more, because moms make way more of a sacrifice for kids than men do. Let's just be honest. Let's just keep it 1,000, fellas. Like, women do so much more for kids than dads do. Let's just keep it all the way a buck. So the kids have a deeper connection to the mom than they do their dad, because if you think about it, a lot of times when kids have secrets, or when kids, need somebody to talk to, who do they run to? They run to mom. So it is what it is. So anyways, my advice to you, my guy, is to never give up. Keep fighting. Keep trying to be a part of your kids' lives every single day. Even if it's just a simple text message saying, hey, dad loves you. Don't expect no response from them, but just keep letting them know that dad loves you. And if you got to apologize every single day, damn it, you apologize every single day. Hey, look, dad is sorry. Dad loves you. Dad is sorry. Dad loves every single day. Even if they block you, find them on social media, DM and inbox them. Hey, dad loves you. If you can't do that, find one of their friends. Say, hey, look, I need you to tell my daughter this. I need you to tell my son this. Make sure you find a way to stay a part of their life, because the moment you stop will be the day that they want to talk to you, and that'll be the day that they feel like you don't care because you ain't communicating no more. But anyways, y'all let me know in the comment section how y'all feel about this story. What should the guy do? What would be your advice to the guy himself as to how he should continue on trying to reach out to his kids to reestablish his relationship with them? But anyways, like I mentioned earlier, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast on all major podcast streaming platforms. I've already taken up too much of your time. Until next time, this is your boy Nephew Q on Conversations with Q, telling you to treat somebody how you want somebody to treat your mama. And I'm about this thing, y'all. Peace.